All right, fifth grade, for this third lesson this week, pull out the page in your packet that says 4.9 homework. We're going to be reviewing how to compare shift patterns. This is going to be a review of what we learned for the past 2 days, comparing shift patterns. All right, well, let's jump into our first example. If I have 4 and 8/10 times 100, you could do the two-step multiplication, or you could shift the decimal point. So let's shift the decimal point. 4 and 8/10. I need to shift that decimal point over to the right because I'm multiplying it by 100. It's going to be a bigger number. And I'm going to shift it over 2 times because 100 has 2 zeros. 1, 2. Let's put in the empty space next to the 8 in between the decimal with a 0. And once I erase my arrow, I can clearly see that 4 and 8/10 becomes 480. Here's another way to think about it. $4.80. If you're going to give that out to 100 people, that means you would have totally given out $480. That's the shift pattern. Well, here's another way to think about the shift pattern. If I have 7/10 times 10 to the first, and I have 7/10 times 10 to the second, and I have 7/10 times 10 to the third. Okay? Remember, since I'm multiplying by exponents of 10, I'm going to get a bigger number, so I shift to the right. 7/10 times 10 to the first, shifted over 1 place. 7/10 times 10 to the second, shifted over 2 places. Fill in the empty place with a 0. 7/10 times 10 to the third, shifted over 3 places. Fill in the 2 empty places with zeros. Now come back with your eraser and erase the original decimal point and the arrow. 0.7 decimal point. Hey, if I erase that first 0, I clearly see it's a 7. Down here, erase the arrow. 0.70, that's kind of hard to see. Oh, erase that 0. Now I see it's 70. Erase first decimal point down here, the arrow. What number is that? I'll get rid of that 0. I can see it's 700. So what pattern do you notice? Well, all of them had a 7 in the original problem. All of them had a 7 in the answer. The only difference was I shifted this decimal point based on the exponent. Up here, shifted it 1 place to get it to be 7. The middle one, shifted that decimal point 2 places to turn into a 70. And on the third one, shift that decimal point 3 places to get it to be 700. All right, and the last example we're going to do is we are going to review how to multiply decimals that are bigger than 1. So I have 3 and 4/10 times 1 and 6/10. Remember, the first thing I do is I pretend the decimal point's not there, and I pretend like I'm just multiplying 34 by 16. 6 times 4 gets you 24, write down the 4, carry the 2. 6 times 3 gets you 18, plus 2 is 20. Let's go on to the ones place. Put a placeholder. Get rid of the 6, get rid of the 2 that I carried. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 3 is 3. Add them together, what do you get? 4 and 0 gets 4. 0 and 4 becomes 4. 2 and 3 becomes 5. But before you say your answer is 544, count up how many decimal points you have. There's my decimal point. How many numbers are to the right of it? 1. There's a decimal point. How many numbers are to the right of it? 1. 1 and 1 means 2. So I know my answer needs 2 decimal places. My decimal point goes there. And it's now $5.44, or 5 44 hundredths. All right, guys, put that into practice today on 4.9 homework.